Hi, my name is Anita Moore and I'm a decorative painter, and I want to share with you guys one of my e-packets that I have on my website, and these are rustic hearts and with little flowers. I put some in, decor Essence Violet on top of it so it shines. And when I first started to paint, we used to have these hearts on a rope and they were awesome sellers, and so I brought this back. Hopefully everyone likes it. And I also did let me just put this aside. I also did this. It's a door tag. You can put it in your kitchen or on the kitchen door. It has little teacups, and I used mixed media paint from Decor and some little stamps. And I hope you like these. This is also on my website if you're interested in the e-packet. So today I wanted to do this little art journal page, and it's a rose, and I kept it soft and simple. I used a Grumbacher mixed media book. It's a 5.5 by 8.5. So your pages can easily come out by just pinching and then putting them back in once you're completed. And what I do is when I have two papers, I usually glue the pages together so that it does a complete book. When I do a fall one, I'll put the fall on that side here. So the paint that I'm going to be using is a couple of the media fluid acrylics and some Americana paint. I'm going to be using some black gold Dynasty brushes. And for this here, let me just get my paper. So I have a page here, and I already applied a coat of gesso. I used the premium white gesso, and if you find it too thick, just tone it down with some water, like thin it, and then you really let this dry, okay? I'm going to show you how to do the background on this. I'm just going to move this aside for 1 second. And I like using a, this is a glass, okay? You can get this, it's pretty thick. You can get it anywhere that cuts glass, or you can use a picture frame glass. That's a good one too. Okay, what I did is I have cerulean blue and cobalt teal hue. Now shake these up really, really good. And you're going to apply a couple little dabs in different little areas. Okay, and then this one here. You don't need a whole lot. Okay, now I'm going to take a water bottle, and it has just water in here. I'm going to just spray it. And then sometimes you may need just take a brush and just help thin this paint down with some the water. You want it really thin. And I'm going to spray it again. So there is a lot of water on here. You don't want that little blob of paint. So your paint's going to move around. Okay. Just a little bit here. So it's almost like I have a puddle of water now. I'm going to take my paper, the one that has the gesso on it, and I'm going to place this flat down, and I'm going to apply pressure, okay? And then I'm going to lift it up. Oh, I didn't get this side here. Okay, and mine is very faint, and I like this just the way it is, and I'm going to put it aside just to dry it. So you can see two different colors on here. Once it's dry, you'll see a little bit more of it. So let's get some baby wipes here, and we're going to dry this up. Okay, I forgot my garbage cans on the other side of the desk. Very easy to clean. Okay, like that. And then just wipe this off. It does curl when it's wet, and when it dries, it goes back flat. So let's just dry this out. I will have this e-packet on my website and the description in my YouTube video. And if you need deco art paint, you can click on the link that I'll put there, and it'll give you a discount on your paint that I used tonight. So it's very soft. Okay, I decided to stop the video to dry because it does take a while to dry. And now I want to show you the next step, okay, which is transferring your design onto the paper. And if you find you need to straighten it, just bend it. You can roll it, and it'll go flat. Right now it's because it's probably hot from the blow dryer. Okay, what I want to do is center my flower, because we're going to use this stencil, and it's going to go like right about here. Okay, so I'm going to put my flower about right here. I'm going to put my graphite, my black graphite paper underneath it. And I'm going to take a stylus, okay, and I'm going to trace out my flower. Now, I only need the outline first of the rose, and then we can do the details once we base coat it. Okay, and I think I have the wrong paper because I added some little leaves on here. So let me do this again. Goes about here. I want this here. Let's move that over. So I'm trying to get it inside this little square. Okay. There we go. See this one better. Okay. So again, I only want the outline of the flower first, and then we'll add the details after. And you don't need to push really hard on this. Okay, and my little green leaves here. My stem. And my leaf. And before you lift it up, I can see it, but it's very faint. Maybe it's because it was too wet. I don't know why it's not coming through. Very faint. And that's good. Okay, so I can see it. Let's move this here. Okay, now the first color that I use for my flower, again, we're using the Americana colors. I'm going to put this here so that you can see it. Okay, trying to place my blow dryer. Okay, so here's my rose, and I'm going to use baby blush. Okay, it's Americana color. And I like using filbert brushes when I base coat, when there's little grooves and stuff. I prefer filberts. Always use the brush that you're best suited with and that you're used to using. Okay, and so I'm going to show you the first coat, and then after that I'll pause it and apply the other coats after. So I did use about 3 coats of paint to fully cover the blue in the background. You can use gesso for an undercoat if you wish. I like going like always in the same direction. I don't like going one way and then another. And I like to use thin paint when I base coat. I don't like using big blobs of paint, just to say I have enough on my brush. If you feel like it dries, then just put a little bit more water in your brush. Oops. Okay, now I'm going to stop my video. I'm going to apply a couple more coats on here, and then I will be right back. Okay, I applied 3 coats of the baby blush, and now I can transfer on my main details on my rose. I'm going to replace my graphite, slide this underneath. Okay, and then I'm going to take my stylus again and outline my rose. Just want to make sure it goes through okay. I also make sure that I don't drag my hand too much on the paper, because you don't want the black graphite on your project. And over here, oh no, I missed this part here. Okay, and I'm missing this one right here. And if I find that the lines are too dark, you can always take a little bit of this eraser and just like erase a little bit off of it, just because I find it too dark. Okay, now we're going to add some floats to our flower, and we're going to use cactus flower and baby blush. So we're going to do a mixed color together there, and I'm going to use a angle brush, and I like using the 1/2 inch. You can use a smaller one if you find it's too big. Okay, let me just add some cactus flower on my palette here. So I'm going to add a fresh puddle of baby blush. Okay, so let's wet the brush. Okay, so when I do a mix, I have it wet. I'm going to pick up some baby blush on my palette, on my toe, sorry, of the brush, And then I'm going to pick up some cactus flower, and I mix these two together, so I blend it. And I like a lot of water on my brush when I go to float. So I always start from the inside, and then we can work on the outwards. Okay, and I also like using a mop brush, and I soften my floats. Okay, and I always have like a paper towel, and I wipe my bristles once it's done. Okay, so I've done this part here, and so while it's wet, you have to be careful where you're applying the float. So normally I would have started from the inside. I don't know why I did that. Okay, and then again, I'm going to soften that up. Okay, we're going to skip here and there just to get it going here. And when I get to this part here, I like to walk it so that you have a nice wide float on the larger petals. Okay, and then soften it up. We're going to go back to that. And then I'm going to add a little bit more of the cactus to my bristle. Okay, and then I want to go underneath this here. This part here, where it folds, the petal folds. And then just turn your brush a little bit. So there's a couple layers of color on here. Okay, and we're going to go over here. And right here, there's like a little crease there. Darker little shadow. Let's do that. I don't pounce very hard, I just lightly, and there's a hair there. Okay, and then go from here, very lightly, turn your brush because it's very small there, and then go to the lip right there. Guess I could have used a smaller brush for this little section here. It's okay. Okay, I'm just going to clean up my brush there and reload brush puddle. So again, I'm picking up some baby blush and then some cactus flower. I'm going to mix those two together. Okay, right here, I did the inside edge right here. So again, I work the paint so that you have a nice wide float. And right here, it's all nice and wide. Let's soften that up. And I meant to mention, like when you do the background on this, you'll never get the same background, but like you'll get little different textures in how you laid your paint or your paper, and you'll see gesso brush strokes that you had applied on it. It's see you'll see different texture in your paper. It's really pretty. Okay, over here. Okay, so it's kind of like choppy floats. I'm going to drag my brush. Okay, and I need to go over here. Just right over here. And this one here needs to go a little wider, right there. Okay, now that's our, oh, right here. Sorry about that, it's my sump pump going off. Okay, let's dry this off. And then we're going to apply floats with just the cactus flower. Let me make sure it's dry. Okay, now I'm only going to use the cactus flower to do the next floats, okay? Again, just load on the tip, fresh puddle, go back and forth, okay? Now I'm going to go start from the center here, work it out a little bit. Okay, and then soften it up if you have to. Okay, and it's hard to see here. Go all the way around. And I think I forgot this little part right here. That's okay, I'll just make it with the cactus right inside my flower. I forgot this part right here. Okay, and then over here, I'm going to add some dry brush if needed there. And then let's go underneath that little lip. I like having a lot of water on my brush. It just makes it blend so much easier on this paper. Okay, and let's go around here. Or I think I already did this part here. That a little wider, so walk it out. Sometimes you'll get the hair from the brush on your paper. Just wait till it's dry and then you can just wipe it off. This one here, just get a couple more spots there. Okay, underneath here. And then missing. Okay, a little bit over here, and then this one right here. Okay, so let's go back just a little bit more. Okay, over here. Okay, and I think I got it all. Now we're gonna, yeah, I think I got it all. We're gonna deepen this even more. Okay, but first let's dry this off, and I'm gonna do a little bit of dry brushing just to make these bigger petals have more of some shading in there. And on this one here, I don't know if you can tell, but my brush was a little dirty that I didn't know, and it added some darker colors than it should have, but I thought it was okay. Okay, now let's use, I like using, these are called Decorator series. They're dome dry brushes, and you always use these dry. And we're going to use the cactus flower. So what you do is you dip your brush in it, and you're just going to mix this around, okay? You're going to load it with paint, not fully. And then what you do is you're going to wipe it on a paper towel till it's almost gone, okay? And try and get the sides when you do this. So you almost see my brush is dry, like there's barely anything on it. So what I want to do is, I'll pull it towards me, is where we floated, go in circles just to make this a little wider. See, I still have dark in my brush. Okay, and then I want to put it a little darker here and load up a little bit more. Okay, and I want to go a little up on this part here. Over here. And so it's more like the outer flower petals there that I'm trying to get a little bit wider float on here. Now this one here, I just noticed it needs some float right here because it overlaps it. Okay, I think I got all the color that I wanted. Okay, now I usually clean this with rubbing alcohol. What you do is rubbing alcohol, hand sanitizer, sorry, I don't know why I was thinking of that. Okay, and then I like to put my brush in the puddle and just clean it, pinch it, and repeat that until it comes out clean. And sometimes, like obviously I've used this a lot, that it has other colors in here that dried up, so I'm gonna have to clean it with some brush soap just to give it a good clean. So just keep doing that till your bristles come really clean. Okay, now the next color that I want to use is Wildberry. So I'm going to put this on my palette. And again, this is going to be like a mix of the cactus and cactus flower and the wildberry together. So I'm going to pick up cactus flower, blend, and wildberry. Mix those two together. But I want a little bit more wildberry than the other color. And then after that, we'll deepen it a little bit more. Okay, let's get over here. Again, walk it out so that you have a nice wide float, okay? And then I liked, again, soften it up. Okay. Let's do the inside over here. And when you go over the line, just take another brush. I don't want to take too much off my highlights there. Okay, we'll go back in the center in just a minute. I'm going to go on the outside just for now. And you can see I have like a lot of water in my brush, which I love because it's going to help me float when I'm using this paper. And I'll take a clean paper towel here just to keep my brush dry. So it is a lot of layering. Okay, I'm going to clean this up and just reload. Okay, cactus flower, some berry. Okay, now notice that it's getting like a crease, and I don't want a crease on there. Clean this off a little bit right here. Okay, and I'm going to go over here. Okay, and I think I could go back to my center. I do have a little bit too much water in my brush. Okay, and let's go over here. Again, I'm just going to wipe this off. I don't want it to cover my highlights too much there. Okay, around here. Oh no, I had my brush fell in my puddle of paint. 1 second here, let's clean this off. Let's fix this up. Very easy to clean up. My mop brush landed in my puddle of paint. Okay, 1 second, let's clean up this mess. Got it all in my hands, on my brush. Okay, I'm going to take a wet one here just to clean this up. Okay, and let's dry the center because now I got a big pile of paint there. It's very forgiving to fix. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, cactus flower, berry. Okay, now I'll do this part over again. Okay, Try this up. I'm trying to see where it was at here. This one here. And then I think I did that one. Okay, let's go over here. The bottom a little bit. And this one over here. Over here. I like to just turn my brush just to make that a little darker in there. Soften that up. Oh, nice. Okay, let's dry this off, and now we're just going to add some wildberry in the little deeper corners there. The hair. Okay, now let's do wildberry by itself. Okay, load this up. So what I did was where it's going to be like a deeper in color, this is where I added like even deep, like deep. So like in here, so they're like corners, I guess you'd say. Soften it up. Like over here, you want this to be a little bit deep. I have right here, and we can always fix the edges there with some the original baby blush color there, just to touch up some colors. Okay, and the inside over here, we can do that. And right here. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. Now, if I take let's see here, a filbert or liner, I'm going to pick up the original color there that I base coated. I want to touch up some of the area, like right here. It'll help cover up the graphite lines too while I'm at it. Just dab it. That'll get fixed with some highlights. Right here. To get my graphite line is very dark here. Let's touch this up. Okay, let's try this out. We can put our highlights. So now you can see all your separation of the petals. Okay, and right here, I'm going to fix that up a little bit. I'm going to use this original color, just touch it up right there. Put something on my brush. right here. Just help form the flower a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna apply some highlight with warm white. Okay. Again, I'm using the same brush, and I'm going to start over here, and I do this wide, and if we need to, we'll apply a second coat of highlight. So I'm trying to hide my graphite line. Okay, so we can add a second coat to that one a little bit right deeper in here. Mix these two colors together. Okay, and over here. Just walk it so you have a nice flow. Okay, and now we'll do this one over here. Again, I take my time. It's all nice and choppy. I like to point my brush when I get to an edge. And we can add another coat of highlight there in some little areas. Okay, over here. So this is where you clean up some of your lines, your petals, how you want it. Love making a wide float. Okay, and then this little white one, just bring it, it's a flip, so we have to do it this way. And if you find you have it too much on your the float area, just take a clean brush and just wipe it. Okay, and then I'm just going to clean this up right to the tip here, just a little smaller. Okay, and where are we at? Okay, over here, this one right here. So we went right here. And turn it. Okay, I'm going to clean up my brush there. Just going to soften this one down just a little bit. Okay, right here. Okay, now let's dry this up and we can go fix a couple of these petals there. Okay, I want to add maybe just a little bit here, a bit more white. And then right here, I want to make just to show a separation on this one. And right over here, so you can just go back and forth with your colors till you're happy with it. And then over here, I feel like this should be a little brighter. And here, fix this up. Oh, and we've got our little center. Not too much. Okay, this one here, I think I want to make that a little darker. I'm going to add a little bit of berry, just the wild berry on the bottom right here. I'm going to make this like darker. There. And a little underneath the petal. Let's add a little bit of wild berry underneath there. Very, very small. So start from here. And just turn your brush around a little bit there, just so you can get the tip. There. I like that way better. Okay, let's dry this up. Okay, what I did is I outlined my petals a little bit, and they're not like all solid white colors, like it's broken up and it's goes thick, light, thin, thick to thin. And I used a micron, and this is 15-0. You can use a longer one, so really wet it. There's something wrong with my brush here. Sometimes you'll get the bristles separate. Okay, now really, I'm just going to show you. Really ink up your paint, and then roll it in there, and then get to a fine point. Okay. Now starting from the inside here, I'm just gonna like outline it. And I don't want that too thick. And then go from here. Again, just turn it. So some areas are thicker, and then when you get to the closing of the dark end, just make sure you don't make it so dark and thick. Just cut it off. I don't know how you say that. You want it thinned out. And I'm not adding a whole lot of pressure on my brush when I'm doing this. It's very faint. I think I already did that one. Again, make your paint really inky. This one here, I really want it a little darker just to separate the two petals there. Okay, and then I have to do this side here. I'm turning my paper, I'm getting myself dizzy here. It's too bright for my shading part here. I'll take that off. So if you don't like it, just wipe it off. Okay, and then I have this one. There, and I think I got them all. Did I get this one? Not really sure. I think I did, but get a little darker right here. There. That's it. See that? Done with our flower. Okay, now for my little leaves and my stem, I used antique green. Okay, so I'm going to put some on my palette. And I used I think it's #1 liner. Not sure. A #2 liner, okay? So I added a little bit of water to like my bristles, and I made like a little puddle because I don't want it like a solid color. Okay, and I'm just gonna base coat, making sure not to get it on my flower here. You can do your petals first if you your little leaves if you want to. Make that one just a little wider there. Okay, and then a little part here, can't really see my graphite line. My leaf might be a little different than that one. Okay, and then my stem over here. Okay, now while this is wet, hopefully it's all wet still, I need some warm white on my palette here. So I left my brush dirty. Okay, and I just lightly dipped some white in there. Okay, pick up just a very little, and then just brush it into your green here. Just add a little bit of different color. Okay, and then down the center here. Okay, and then the leaf, just leave it the way it is. Okay, let's dry this up. Okay, for this here, the leaf. I'm going to take float with antique green, so pick up with the toe here. Okay, and I'm going to float on the top area along the edge and then to a point. And then I'm going to float the center vein all the way down. Make it wide. Okay, and then let's dry that up. Okay, and then pick up antique green. Okay, and then pick up a little bit of white just to change the color. See how it just changed the color. Now go down the center, top center this time. Okay, and if it's too dark, just soften it there. I don't like how that made it. Well, there was a bad float. Let's fix this up. Okay, and then I want to do over here. I want to brighten the bottom just a little bit more with just white, just like a tad, right over here. Okay. Now I'm gonna darken some floats with some asphaltum. Okay. Add this to our palette. Okay, pick it up. Okay, so I went underneath the petals here. Stem. Again, you can use a smaller brush. Okay, and for my leaf, okay, I went from the bottom here to the end and to the top edge, not all the way, just stopped halfway. Okay, and then you can also do the tip right here, just a little bit on the tip. Okay, and then I'm gonna add some over here down the middle where the bottom vein is halfway through. And just soften that up just a little bit. Okay, then I went down some of the little edge here on the right side, left side. Some different color. And I didn't do like a vein, but I guess we could with asphaltum. Just take your little liner. I never even thought of it. So just go straight down the center. That'll give us a little separation. Okay, now I wanted to add a little bit of shading just at the bottom. And it's very faint because it's the same color, okay? I used the cerulean blue there. I put some on my palette. Now, you don't need a lot. I didn't. Okay, I really wet my brush. Picked up some blue, so it's really inky, okay? And all I want to do is like add it underneath, okay? So on a point. Find it's too dark, just tap it there so it's like a watercolor. And just turn it. I don't have enough on here, so let's just redo that one. That's better. Okay, and then I did underneath my little leaves here. Now there's a name to these, but they're there to protect your rows at the bottom. And then over here, let's add some over here. So it's almost like watercolored because this is really faint. So okay, now let's add some spatter. Oh no, sorry, no spatter. We have to do a little picture frame. Okay, this is a stencil from Studio R12, and it's STCL 5980, and I think it's like it's called a frame. I'm not really sure, but I'll have it in my description. Let's just dry this up. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but I did a blue, and I didn't like the blue because it was too blue. So what I did was I moved the stencil just a tad, and I add white over top of it. So I did like a little shadow box, like a little shadow. So I can show you how I did that. Okay, now we're going to place this where we want it, and we're going to tape it so it doesn't move, okay? And the paper should line up with the stencil here. Okay, now I have painter's tape. I'm going to tape this. Onto the desk, my mat, so it doesn't move. Oh, it's not even going to stay on my mat, but it's okay. As long as it stays on my paper, I'm happy with that. Okay. Okay. And unfortunately, the blue that I had, I forgot upstairs, so we're going to try the cerulean blue. I'll do the same. Okay. I'm just going to wash my hands for a second here. Okay, now you're going to need two brushes, stencil. One's going to be for your blue and the other one will be for your white, okay? Now, when you're going to do the dry brushing, okay, so this is dry. You're going to pick up the blue, okay, and wipe it on your paper towel, and then hold your stencil down, okay, and go in circles. You can also dab, but that'll take a while. Okay, pick up some more blue, and because this is very not as thick as the Americana, it probably won't show as much, but it will show in our behind the white. So again, just hold your stencil down so it doesn't move. I'm going to need some more blue. Might have picked up just a little too much. Oops. So again, just hold it because it's very I don't know, flimsy a little bit. Alrighty. Okay. Now let's just take this off a little slower. Because it's thin paint, mine ran over it, but that's okay. Okay, now you need to keep it on the same. Oops, I got it backwards. So what you do is you're gonna move it like just a tad, like just to say you actually moved it. Okay. Wait, move it up. You can either move it a tad, like move it, let me just do this again. So move it, place it, and then move it one tad up. Like just to say you moved it, just to say right there. I don't want it too much. Right there. I'm good with that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, put it back on my paper. Okay, now because I'm using another color, I'm going to use the small one, and I'm going to pick up some warm white. And really, I better get a fresh petal. I don't want green on it. So pick up some warm white, wipe it on your paper towel, and this will show a bit better. We're going to do a couple coats of this white. Don't put too much paint on your brush. You want it really like dry, for dry brushing. Hold your stencil in place. If you find it too flimsy, just tap one at the corners there. We'll need a couple coats for sure. Keep loading my brush and drying it on a paper towel. Right here, you have to be careful in those little section there. Then we can dry it, and then we'll add another coat. Okay. So see how you have a little box there? I don't want to move my stencil. Let's just dry it. We'll do it again. It doesn't take long to dry. I need more white. Okay. I'm not going to go as fast. I want it to go little circles so that I apply a thicker coat than the first time. Isn't thick. Oops. Almost there. Actually, this brush is probably better than the other brush that I had because it's so small. The lines are very small. I keep adding paint because I want it to be dark. Alrighty, let's see. Let's take off the top part first there. See, I like it. With a little shadow. Okay, and clean this with some baby wipes there. Okay, I'll just move that aside for 1 second. just want to clean my stencil here. Clean, like if you wipe it off right away, it won't be as hard to clean. Like taking care of my stencils. So just wipe it gently. And then if you have to, you can clean it some more under the sink. Okay, 1 minute. Shows that my battery is a little low. Be right back. Alrighty. That's good. Okay, now put this aside, bring this back. Okay, now let's add some spatter to our background here. And these two, clean these right away, okay? I'm just going to put them in my water basin for now. Okay, what I used was this shimmer, turquoise shimmer, but I didn't spray it because I find sometimes it sprays way too much. So what I did was I put like the little tip here. I want to move this before I get on here. Just add some on your palette. You don't need a whole lot, okay? Because it's like really inky. Okay, that's good. I'm going to take my liner brush, okay? I'm going to put a little bit of water in it, so that's watery. And I'm going to put it over top and just tap it with your finger. I'm trying to avoid my flower. I don't want the blue on my flower. I'm a little late there. Get some along the edge. A little bit over here. And you know what? Sometimes it does happen where you are going to get on your flower, but that's okay. Now, let's get some white spatters on here. So I'm going to clean my brush and I'm going to water down this white puddle that I have, and again I'm just gonna use my finger and dab. I don't mind if there's white specks on my flower, that's okay. There. Okay, let's dry that up so that I can show you how to do the little gold leaves, or they're called fragments. They're little, actually it's not gold. I don't know why I keep saying gold. It's actually bronze. If you want to make this a little watery, just use your baby wipe and tap it down. This if you have big blobs. So see how the background with two colors, I just love it. It's beautiful. Okay. This paper keeps curling. It's probably from all the blow drying. Okay, I have here, it's from Stupendous. They're bronze fragments. So if you shake it, they're different sizes, and see that? There's little sparkles in there. I'm not gonna lie, this is very, very messy. Okay, very messy. Now I used this adhesive like it's for the metal leaf. I do have metal leaf too. If you don't want to use this, you can use the metal leaf. And I use like, it's an old like utility brush. It's hard wire, so you don't ruin your good brushes. Okay, so I have my glue. It's very sticky, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have some baby wipes on hand because you're gonna go over your hands. It's very messy. Okay, I'm gonna have my baby wipe right here. Okay, so what I did was just put some on your brush here, and you're gonna dab a little bit of fix it up in a minute. I want some under here. Oops. I didn't need that much. I'll be picking up bronze chips for a long time after this. Okay, I think I got too much here, so I'm just going to take off some glue there. That's what I mean, you get glue in your fingers, you get glue. If anybody has a way of doing this, I'd love to know. Okay. Now, I'm going to just take off this palette paper, and I'm going to put like a clean one. Just so I can do this on top of my palette paper. So that way I can put it inside my jar after. Okay. So just tap the stuff there so that it's on the glue, okay? Let's rip it off. But I'm not quite done yet. I'm going to put those in my jar after. Okay, now try and get some off my hands. Okay, what I do is I'm going to dry this really good, okay? It took me a while to figure out how I wanted to do this, and by having drying the glue off to start. Not all of it, it's going to stay, believe me. Just pick it back up and put it in your jar over here. Okay, just one second. Let's shake some more of this stuff off. Take some of my fingers. Okay, let's keep trying this there. What I'm trying to do is just whatever glue's underneath there and whatever little fragment's going to stick to it is what you really want, right? Okay, now let's shake this off again. Now I'm going to take a wipe, maybe a clean one right here. Okay, let's just see if any of it comes off. I'm going to just brush it off. Okay. I don't want big, oops, I don't want big blobs. I want it's like little fragments here and there. So take off the excess. Okay. Shake it off. Okay, try it some more. It's very hard to come off your hands. like I said, if there's a different way of doing this, I'd like to know. See, I don't want these big clumps there. I just want it a little bit at a time. If it goes on the flower and it sticks, that's good. And I'm also putting it as close as I can. I don't know if this stuff is supposed to melt, but on my other one, it looks like it melted. Put this aside before I hit that. Okay, let's just dry this up a little bit on it by itself there. What I do want to do is take this palette paper off and put that back in my jar. So it's very, very messy. I have to take a vacuum cleaner. Okay. Clean some off my hands. That's where that part, I didn't mind doing that last. Okay, that's good. Okay, so again, I'm just going to shake whatever comes off, and I'm going to still dry it a little bit more because it looks like it wants to, see, when I blow dried it, or dried it, heating tool, it kind of melted a little bit. So if you bring it close enough, some of it should come off. There. You just have to keep working at it till you like it. Some of it might stick onto the rose itself. So again, if I have too much, then just wipe some off, that's all. All I did was I took my baby wipe and I spread it around a little bit. See, there is a big clump there. I didn't want that big clump. It spreads out. And then you'll get all these little tiny ones. So again, just keep taking a clean area. There. Took some of these big chunks off. Only wanted a little bit here and there. There. Okay. Now, pardon my desk. It's a glitter factory here. Okay. I had these words. They are from Tim Holtz, so there's all kinds of words in here. I had put Imagine. I do have another one, but it's black, so I could still use it. Where is it? So I have black. What's sad about these, they don't, once you take it off these, they don't, they're not sticky. So I have these dimensions I'm going to put underneath. Okay, so you got to take it off. What I did was took some scissors and I'm going to cut little strips of these dimensions. There's scrapbooking dimensions here. Okay, and I'm going to put them right behind my words. Got glitter all over my fingers. Okay, now I'm going to put it right underneath and just place it. And there you have your words. So again, just keep letting it dry, keep letting it dry. Take some baby wipe it to your liking, just to remove some of the big clumps. Okay, and that concludes my art journal page, and I hope you like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I look forward to making more. Bye now.